Hello everyone, I'm your host Creator Toast. And as an artist, there are things that have been said to me that I definitely didn't like and didn't appreciate. So today I've gathered a list of things that most if not all artists have heard. Whether it's little things or larger things, here are 10 things that artists are tired of people doing. Enjoy! Number 1. I can never do that. I can't even draw a stick figure. The amount of times I have been told this, just as a young artist, was unbelievable. And I still occasionally get this. I think the main reason artists dislike this is because, one, it's overused, everyone says it. But also, everyone can draw a stick figure. Might not be a good one, but unless you are, physically unable to draw a stick figure, don't say this. Another issue I have with it is the beginning, where they say I could never do that. While you may not be able to recreate what I draw stroke for stroke, if you genuinely wanted to and took the time and effort to learn like I did, then yes, you could create something similar, if not better. When they say this, they mean one of two things. Art is not my interest, and so I never took the time to learn it, but it's really cool that you made that. Or, I tried drawing once when I was in kindergarten and wasn't good at it, so I stopped drawing. Of course, I'm exaggerating a little bit there, but when people say this one, it feels like they expect art to be a natural talent rather than a skill you build up. But who knows, I might be looking too deep into this one. Number 2. You're such a good drawer. This one irks me just a little bit. I have no idea why, but I've just always hated it when people call me a drawer. Because one, if you spell it out, that spells drawer, like a dresser drawer. And I did not know I was a compartment that held your clothing. But also, drawer feels very clunky and weird to say. It does not roll off the tongue at all. I feel like a better word that you could use if you wanted to talk about someone who specifically draws, you could call them an illustrator, especially since artist is an umbrella term. But even so, there are many types of sub-artists that it would be difficult just to pick one, so your best bet is sticking with artist. Number 3. You did this wrong, they say as they can't do any better. Now, it doesn't take an anatomical genius to tell you that the neck you drew on your anime boy is a little jank. However, I don't want you correcting me for something I did if you cannot do any better. For example, hands. Hands are very stylized in a lot of art. So, let's say you don't draw the top part of your knuckle, and someone points it out and they're like, hey, you drew the hand wrong. It's like, okay, and? Can you draw it better? Because last time I checked, I'm the artist. When you draw hands better than me, I will let you criticize me however much you want. Now don't get me wrong, I love constructive criticism. But when someone just tells me I did something wrong, but aren't capable of doing better themselves, it just kind of rubs me the wrong way. Number 4. You did this wrong. Art style edition. It's really interesting to me that some people genuinely believe that you shouldn't draw in a cartoon style or anime style if you want to be good at art. And it's also really weird to me that people will say it's wrong even if you did it with intent. And I'm not talking about the people who make clear mistakes and blame it on their art style because they don't feel like fixing it. I'll even give you an example with my art. In my last video, I drew this character. This is Andreica. And as you can see, her full body is super lanky. Her anatomy is really weird. I did that on purpose. I wanted her to look like that. And while technically yes, from an anatomical standpoint, her body is incorrect. However, it was done with intent. Therefore, it doesn't matter. Especially since she's not human anyway, so why would I go based off of a human's anatomy? Again, this isn't about the people who do something wrong and then divert the criticism onto their art style. I personally love seeing art styles that push anatomy in weird ways. It's not wrong if it was done with intention. Number 5. You're a better artist than blank, / blank is a better artist than you. I have been on both sides of it, and it doesn't feel good on either side. Obviously, being told that someone is a better artist than you frickin' sucks. You work for a long time to get good at what you're doing just for someone to come along and say that your work is subpar compared to someone else. However, on the other side, that person is actively putting down someone else's art while praising yours. Especially being on the other side of that statement, I understand how it feels, and so I'm just like, let's not degrade other people's art, please. If you really want to compliment an artist you like, Don't bring someone else's art into it. Just tell the artist that you like what they're doing. It feels very unnecessary and kind of mean to go out of your way to say that you like their art better than someone else's. And the thing is, most people don't even understand that what they're doing can potentially be harmful. I've seen so many stories of people just quitting art because something like that has been said to them. And it's really unfortunate because a lot of the times the people who get told that are beginner artists. Always remember that art is subjective, which means while someone might like my art more than yours, there's going to be another person who likes yours more than mine, regardless of skill level or talent. Number 6. Can you draw me? I mean, I can draw you if you got $20. What people don't understand about this one is that when you ask someone to draw you, you are demanding goods and services from them. And as we all know, goods and services should be paid for. If you wouldn't walk into a Walmart and demand a craft kit for free, you shouldn't go up to an artist and demand art for free. If you are willing to pay the artist, it's a completely different story, and most of the time an artist will be more than happy to draw you. When you demand art for free, you are inherently telling the artist, I like your stuff enough to want it, but I do not feel like I should be paying for it. And say it with me, what's it called when you take something and you don't pay for it? Stealing! The only reason I would ask an artist to draw me something for free is if they have already offered to do so. For example, some artists do sweepstakes, and others ask people to submit their original characters. I guess I did think of another reason. If you are close friends with an artist and like it's your birthday or Christmas or something and you ask for art, I do think that's okay as well. Again, the artist has every right to refuse it if they so desire. Number 7, picking up sketchbooks without permission, or when you refuse to let them look through your sketchbook, they automatically assume that you've drawn NSFW. When I was younger, my sketchbook used to be picked up and looked through a lot. And I hated it because I was still trying to improve my art and I was embarrassed of what I was drawing. Imagine if I just picked up someone's random purse or backpack. I would get scolded and yelled at because I am grabbing something that does not belong to me and I am searching through it. Same principle as sketchbooks, you are picking up something and going through it without the owner's permission. And going into the NSFW part, if you immediately assume that someone's not showing you something because they've drawn NSFW, 9 times out of 10, it's not that. Well, it definitely can be that. Most of the time, it's not. A lot of people don't realize this. Heck, even artists don't realize it sometimes. But a lot of our emotions go into our art, and it is the one place that artists are allowed to safely express their feelings. So going through someone's sketchbook is inherently an invasion of privacy. And even if it was because they drew NSFW, that's their own call to make. Nobody is entitled to know what you are drawing in your own sketchbook. And if anyone thinks so, try just picking up something of theirs and going through it and see how they react. It's inherently the same thing. Number 8. When little kids want to draw with you, but on the same paper. I love drawing with little kids. I love seeing what little kids draw. I don't like it when little kids try to scribble on my paper with their pencils. Now I understand a lot of the time children will just be kids. But even when I was little, I understood not to scribble on someone else's page. But I've also been drawing since I was 2, so I've noticed that the children who do scribble on other kids' pages are typically the children who were not well parented. Again, that's just what I've noticed. Like, where are your parents? Go ask them for paper or something. Number 9. References are cheating. Now, I've never been told this, but I've seen it enough to know that this is something that is said often. And I genuinely do not understand their viewpoint either. Like, if I told you to draw a vacuum right now, would you be able to do it? Chances are, probably not. You would need to look at one. And that, my dear friend, is a reference. How is it cheating to look at something and copy it to be able to draw it correctly? And here's the one you've all been waiting for. Number 10. There is no point in doing art anymore because of AI. I think this is the one everyone was waiting for. With the rise of AI art, people have started to say that there's no point in doing art anymore. But I firmly disagree. And I'll explain why. Yes, you can go to an AI art generator and put in a prompt, and the AI art generator will put in what it can. However, it can only go based off of what it's trained. So for example, something I was told is that certain AI programs can't generate an empty glass of wine. Why? Because it wasn't trained on empty wine glasses, so it physically cannot do it. And that's just a small example. You can very easily confuse an AI art generator by adding weird information. Another example is, if you were to say, generate a room with no elephants, the AI art generator is going to see the word elephant and put an elephant in an empty room. But that wasn't what you asked for. You asked for an empty room with no elephants. Again, that's just a little small thing. But here's the real reason why AI will never replace real artists. No matter what, you cannot 100% communicate what you want to an AI art bot. If you want the AI art bot to fix a mistake that it did, it has to regenerate the whole art piece, which will lead to things looking different, things that you originally liked. Guess what? Artists don't have to redraw a whole piece if you don't like it. We can just fix the little parts that you like. You can be 100% happy with art that an artist has made. You probably won't be 100% happy with art that an AI art bot has made. And you want to know another thing? The investors in AI are currently losing money. People are comparing it to NFTs. That's how bad it's getting. That's the reason why new phones and items are pushing AI, because they're losing money on it. I genuinely think we should be using AI to do the jobs that nobody wants to do. That would make life so much nicer. But instead, people are looking for ways where they can quickly cut corners and cut costs, which, as we all know, leads to crappy products. And art isn't going to be replaced. There's no replacing a human artist. Thank you all so much for watching. It really means a lot to me. I wanted to try something different today than what I normally do. Maybe next time I'll actually draw art for each point, but I wanted to put in my actual art style into one of my videos for once. That's the only thing with YouTube, because I need to put out a video every week. I'm not as capable as drawing in my art style as often, so I have to simplify things a bit. But I do really like the pieces I drew for this video. Anyway, thank you all again, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye!